presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Use the promo code Welcome to Light Years. Andy Lou, I'm looking at my phone today, and the Boston Celtics have media day. And they have an early media day because they're going abroad. Shout out China trip. I don't think they're going to China, but
are they going to China?
No, I think they're in the Middle East. If I'm correct,
Oh,
I'll double check. But anyway,
okay.
They're doing their media day early, and that's a reminder. The Warriors media day is less than a week away next Monday, and man, dude, it's coming around fast. Does it just feel like are you ready for the NBA to be back? Are you ready?
By the way, I think they're going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
I think you're right, if I'm saying that correctly. I need this. I need the Warriors back. I need this. And you know why I need this? I'm a Niners fan, unfortunately. I need this, Samuel. Not Steph Curry highlights on my timeline right now. Numbers for my mental health. I saw a clip of Steph pumping himself up. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's another documentary that he's doing. Shout out to Sheed. I think he just posted it. Need it. I need Kuminga workout tape. Pajemski, what are you up to? I need some of that. Step back threes. I need that. Moses Moody. Hey, they said he has a quicker handle now, Sam. Need that. I need it. Kyle Anderson. My buddy who lives in LA said he saw Kyle Anderson this weekend partying. Need that. Amazing. All this stuff. I need it in my veins. I need basketball back. I'm glad we have it back 1 week away.
Which one are you buying as most likely? Kuminga's fixed his 3-point shot. Moses Moody's tightened his handle. Yeah. I'm calling.
By the way, Kuminga's blonde hair. By the way, Kuminga has blonde hair. I might be buying that actually. I'm liking it. Guy's got a level of confidence, I think, unseen from I think old school players.
I'm calling 20 points per game for Kuminga this year. I feel pretty confident he's going to score over 20, and I think he's going to do it on decent efficiency. It's more of a question of, is it going to be kind of empty calorie 20, or is he going to like truly impact the game in multiple different ways that I want to see? But I basically slotted him in for 20. 20, good efficiency. I think it'll be good. Yeah, man, I'm getting excited for camp around the corner. If nothing else, it's the beginning. Let's get to mid-November, mid-December, then we could be cynical. I'm not going to be cynical just yet.
Yeah, no, we're not. No. Mid-December, no, we're not. We'll push that aside. It's good vibes right now, I think.
So I was going to ask you, what are the things you're most excited about with the Warriors right now?
All right. Right off the top, number one, we both did 3, right? So for me, number one is I'm most excited for the team fit, dude. I think Mike Dunleavy's second full year, second 2.5, 3. This is, I think, the one. I think he's put together a team that makes sense. And I think if we're directly comparing it to last season, I just never liked the Chris Paul fit. And the worst parts of Chris Paul came to fruition on this team when Steve Kerr decided to start and close with him in games. It's not going to happen anymore on this team this season. Just feels like a better fit, right? DeAnthony Melton, you can put him next to Steph, play some great defense. If you want to go 3 guards, which I hope they don't go too much, but it makes sense where Melton can play defense and Pods I think he could still play defense too. It's 2 pretty good defenders next to him, right? Kyle Anderson's a good fit. Kuminga's a better player than he was. So all the guys that they put together on this team, I don't think politically there's going to be Chris Paul is going to have to start. I think Chris Paul played the good guy last season. Actually, that's another one, right? Or Clay has to start. That's not the case this season. So to me, that it gets me excited because there's none of that BS. Whoever playing best gets to play.
Yeah, no, I definitely look. Kyle Anderson, he screams Steve Kerr's system. Buddy Hield, we know exactly how he's going to fit as a shooter off the bench on his team. And DeAnthony Melton, better souped up version of what they got with GP2. So the fit is awesome. To your point, the Chris Paul politics, the Klay Thompson politics are gone. Maybe it can be just more about basketball this year. You never know. You got young guys playing for contracts, so there'll always be some politics. But it does. New season, I kind of like the roster as well, at least from that sense. I wish they would have got a big who could space the floor, but whatever. They'll get there when they get there. For me,
he'll get there.
dude, Dude, nothing would make me happy. I'm putting 1% chance of it happening at the high end, but nothing would make me happier than if he randomly turned into Brook Lopez.
God.
Just like, protect the rim, rebound, and then on offense, you just standing 26 feet out shooting. Do I think it'll happen?
Fine.
No, but it would make me happy. It would make me very happy. The one thing we haven't talked about as much in the offseason kind of ties to that is I'm pretty excited to see what Terry Stotts does with this team. You remember like 2 years ago, they brought in Kenny Atkinson. It felt like they kind of rejuvenated the offense a little bit with Jordan Poole. They still look like the Warriors, but there was a little more punch to them. There were some subtle differences. And then it kind of got stale again and, partially the roster. But Terry Stotts, every team Terry Stotts is involved with is top 5 offense. They're always good offense. Wow. Pretty much.
Wow.
All those Dame Portland teams,
right?
Look, they were flawed rosters, but they did run efficient offense. They did run a very efficient offense. They didn't run the clogged toilet offense that the Warriors run. That's for sure. They sometimes maybe the simplicity of just running a pick and roll with your best player can help. Stuff like that. They got into their sets quicker than the Warriors often. I'm excited to see what tweaks he can make, specifically for someone like Kuminga, because Kuminga is a talented scorer. Like, he does have scoring talent, particularly getting downhill, but he's not a Steve Kerr player. And sometimes I felt the last 2 years, Kerr's rigidness with wanting players who fit his system came at the expense of Kuminga. So I'm excited to see what someone like Terry Stotts, who comes in with a different mindset, can do to kind of be like, look, I know he's not Andre Iguodala, but he could get downhill in ways that no one else on this roster can. So why don't we try inverting some pick and rolls and getting Kuminga going downhill? Or why don't we try getting Kuminga the ball in the mid post when he has a mismatch and going at him that way, and just a different voice that Steve Kerr might actually listen to, because he's a respected coach. He's not he's not like a 30-year-old assistant saying it. You know what I'm saying?
You just stole the take I was going to have. Was he's Terry Stotts. He's not Mark Daigneault. It's one of the better, actually, he might be a top 3 coach in the NBA right now, but as just probably not someone that Steve Kerr is going to listen to, right? Just generally, especially at this point in their career. So, and it shows in the team's, I think, stagnancy on offense. So it's an interesting one. I like it because they need it. It's not just the offense, Sam, that's stagnant too. And a lot of this, like you said, is dependent on personnel, but the defense. Because the one thing I'm excited about is, I kind of stole yours, is Jerry Stackhouse was brought in to revamp the defense. And so I think a lot of the complaints that we've had the last couple of years is, one, to your point, how they play offense, right? Pick and roll is the obvious one. But how about creativity, right? You mentioned Kuminga as kind of a you don't want him as a Jokic. He's not that type of player, but can he be a little bit of the hub where you run the offense through a little bit and give him a little bit more responsibility and see what happens there? And defensively, it feels like they've completely fallen apart there. Like, not even stagnant, because on offense, you still have Steph. End of the day, you still got Steph. You're still okay. You're going to score enough. Defensively, what happened, right? They went from a top 5, 6, 7 defense in 2022. You watch every single game. I don't care what the numbers are. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And you can partially blame, I think, coaching. You can partially blame the roster too, because they're playing a bunch of smalls. Dante DiVincenzo starting at the 4. I don't care what coaching you have. That's just not going to work, right? But what Jerry Stackhouse seems like he's been brought in. He mentioned in an article that they got, like, right when he was hired, like, he's kind of brought in to not only make the defense better or coach the defense, but to make the wings better. And 3 wings is what I'm thinking of. It's Kuminga, it's Wiggins, it's Moses Moody, right? Like, those are the 3 guys that, if in today's NBA you want to play great defense, your wings have gotta be better there. And if we go down the list, Wiggins, I think, is great on defense when he's locked in. Let's see if he's locked in. Kuminga, great rookie year defensively, I thought, has regressed. I think partly because he's just doing more on offense. But he's 22. You got to be able to play both ends.
He has the potential to be a very good defender. He has not necessarily shown it.
And now is, I think, the point, right? Like, he's still young, so it's like, now it's, you get Jerry Stackhouse in here. Jerry Stackhouse was a wing. Can you get him to play both sides elite, right? Because it's not like he's Luka on offense. You don't really get an excuse there. And then Moses Moody, I think kind of on offense and defense question marks. Well, I love him, but offense and defense question marks, right? So I'm fascinated by what he does with those three wings, especially defensively, because
I
it's interesting.
I'm gonna throw another name in there. How about Draymond? I feel like the last 2 years, this team's defense has basically been when Draymond wants to defend, they're okay. And when Draymond's not there or not locked in, they're terrible. Having someone who can hold him accountable, I feel like that's an underrated Stackhouse quality here. They brought in someone who can actually fight Draymond. So I don't think it's underrated. Like, a lot of the Warriors' issues come down to demanding accountability. And is Stackhouse the guy who's going to get into Draymond's face or Kuminga or Wiggins' face and be like, what's this effort? You know, I can live with mistakes if you're trying, but you're not even applying yourself as hard as you want, you know? So, like, that's the other part of it. Like, new voices. Sometimes you just need a new voice to bring it out of guys, right?
I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about the I don't think Kenny Atkinson or Ron Adams are. Do you think Bruce Frazier is going at Draymond a little bit? No, I don't think so. So yeah,
no, I mean, and
yeah,
it's like I'm looking at the numbers. When Draymond didn't play, they were the 30th ranked defense. So to your point,
sense.
Disgusting. When Draymond played, they were somewhere around 12, which is like, okay. I mean, it's something to build upon, right? It's not as good as you want it, but it's something to build upon. So it's like, as frustrating as he is, and he's very frustrating these days, he still makes his impact felt, right? And so, you know, can a coach force him to lock in more games, not get suspended, like actually be a leader? Because he's very capable of being a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he has been. And he has been
At
in
times.
the past. Yeah, so maybe that's another thing. Like, not excited about, but like something we want to see is like, hey, what's Draymond look like? What's the vibe off him when media day comes around? I think another. So it's kind of twofold, right? One, can Jerry Stackhouse push the wings and the rest of that defense? Let's say Draymond is out 15 games because of a neck or an ankle or whatever or knee. Can they go from 30th to 22nd? Yeah, 15th. My standards are lower because the personnel, but it's
can they hold up?
Yep.
Yeah,
because Kyle Anderson's good. Looney's good. Wiggins, Kuminga, theoretically, they should be really good. Pajemski too. Like, he is like a good team defender, right? So it's like, you should be good.
I think your point, I think I agree with you. Like, if you're missing Draymond for 10 games, I don't expect you to be an elite defensive team. I just expect you to be able to hold it down enough to not fall apart. You know, like, that's really what it comes down to. If you could just replace Draymond, they would have replaced him a long time ago. You know, they would have, but the things he does are very hard to find, you know, because God knows he tests everyone's patience with all the other stuff, but he gets away with it because you just simply, like, how many guys can do what he does defensively? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Bam, it's Jimmy Butler, it's Anthony Davis. Like, it's a very short list of guys who can impact a team defense like that.
It's like 5, Bam and Giannis. I mean, do you count Gobert? No, you don't count Gobert.
Not on this show.
No. They should. Now that I think about it, when you look up and down the roster, they, even without Draymond, they should still be a decently average, maybe slightly below average defensive team. There really should be no excuse for it. Given who they added, Melton and Kyle Anderson. I know Hield's a terrible defender, but that's just one guy. He's not playing 30 minutes a game, right? Like, they still should be a solid team.
Yeah, in theory, if you're running a Steph, Melton, Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and either Trace or Looney lineup, you know, it might be an ugly offense. Might be a little ugly on offense, but you're telling me that can't be around league average defensively?
That's a good defensive
on like
unit.
on a given night. That shouldn't be good enough to, like, you know, I'm not asking you to be locked down, but I'm not asking you to be like first to 140 wins type of defense either.
No,
like,
Sam, that's a great defensive unit. Melton, Wiggins,
might be unwatchable on offense.
But Steph,
but
figure it out.
Yeah, but I mean, my point, I guess it gets back to your point. They have enough personnel to mix and match and not fall apart. Let's see it. And they got new coaches. I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like. By the way, I pulled up the stats right now just for curiosity. So from January on, basically the period of time in which they came back from, the extended absence for Decky's passing, they were 28-14, and they had the 9th ranked defense in that span. Now, it wasn't the greatest defense on earth. Allowing 113 per 100 possessions is not great defense, in my opinion.
Steroid era, yeah.
But I mean, like, they played good enough defense. They got enough offense. I mean, 10th on offense, 9th on defense. That kind of matches. That's kind of who they were. They were like slightly above average, which is their record is, right? So the point is there's stuff to build on here in general.
Who's your number 2?
I'm going in. I'm just gonna say I'm actually lumped these together. I'm excited for Pods and Kuminga. I'm in. Look, everyone who listens to this show knows I like Pods in college, and I liked him when they picked him when it was an unpopular pick, just because on face value, like another combo guard, another 6. He is 6'4", but like another, like that's not what we need, that sort of thing. I think he really does have higher upside than he gets credit for. I think he's going to show he can shoot the ball this year. The IQ is what it is. If he can shoot, he can start bending the game and start making plays. I'm excited to see what that looks like. And then we talked about Kuminga. Kuminga, if he's not averaging 20 points this year, something fell apart because he's going to get the opportunity, and he's just the second most effortless scorer on this roster. And he's aggressive. So I'm excited to see what comes with those two guys. And see how this all plays out. I'd like to see them acquire another high-end guy who matches Steph's timeline more so, but in lieu of that not happening until the trade deadline at the earliest, let's see what the kids got.
In the NBA landscape, I want to get your opinion on Pods and Kuminga in terms of prospect tier, right? So they're obviously not Wemby, who's in his own tier. I think right below Wemby is the Chet Holmgren tier, right? It's still like a franchise player,
sure,
really good.
And like Paulo Banchero's probably in that tier too. And
tier,
the guys who are like franchise but not obvious generational talent.
Who is the what tier are these guys in your mind? Like same tier as like Franz Wagner?
Franz better.
Scotty Barnes.
They're both better. Those guys have proven stuff that Kuminga and Pods haven't proven yet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I count those guys as prospects because they've been paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess you got to count them because of their age. Probably third tier. I think they could go either way at this point. I give Pods a little more leeway because he's younger and he's only played 1 year, whereas Kuminga's going into year 4. And I feel like we have a better grasp on him. But probably tier 3 prospects. Like tier 1 is Wemby. Tier 2 is guys who you feel pretty confident will be all-stars. Like Sky Barnes is going to be an all-star. Franz Wagner will be an all-star. Paulo Banchero will be an all-star, plus probably more. Chet will be an all-star. Like all of that will happen. I put them in a tier with guys like
Jalen Green.
I really don't like Jalen Green, honestly.
Me neither, but
yeah, maybe. Where it's like I could see them taking a leap to all-star level, or I could see them not, where there's like enough tools that you're intrigued, but it's not a sure thing. Like Scotty Barnes is low-key a sure thing to make an all-star team at this point.
How about, Jalen Williams? They're not in that tier. I would think.
I really like Jalen Williams. I think he's better. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I think that's the maybe that's the Jalen tiers. They're below Jalen Williams, but they're above.
Oh, Jalen Williams is Well, Jalen Williams has been the second leading scorer on a high playoff team. Correct. So even if you think Kuminga can be as good as him over the next 5 years, he has not shown it. Franz Wagner was the second option on a playoff team. Scotty Barnes is everything's running around him in Toronto. We'll see how good he actually ends up being, but he did average like 20, 10, and 5. So these are just, and maybe it's just an opportunity thing. Maybe we'll end this season going, you know what? I like Scotty Barnes, but I don't think he's that much better than Kuminga. Maybe that's the takeaway. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got real quick. Last one is the theme of the team. It's like, I want to hear, is it urgent? Right? Are they kind of going into the season saying like, oh, we could make a big trade, or is it like, hey, we're going for it, everything's good? That's it. Like, I want to. What's the theme? because every year they've got a theme. Fitz wants to sell us something. What is it this year? Like if Sam, if it's going to be, hey, they could swing a big trade, that's not serious. It's not a serious team. So that's
really,
what is it?
that needs to be on the back burner.
Yep.
I want it, but if we're talking about that on October 27th, it's gonna be a long fucking.
Yep, it's not
season.
serious. It's just like exactly October. You're talking about making a trade. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. All right. Light Years Podcast. We're brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks, easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Watch the winnings roll in. You guys know how it works. So get $50 instantly when you play $5. Use promo code LightYears. Prize Picks. Sign up today. Oh, hey. Here's what we got for you. Caleb Williams. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. This is the last week. This
Trailib
right now.
Trailib Williams.
Sure. We're going to have to get into that a little bit later, by the way. Threw for almost 400 yards last week on 400 pass attempts. So it's an easy way to get your prop up. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you automatic win every football weekend. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. Some other ones, Tyreek Hill will get more than 60 yards in week 1. I don't even know who his quarterback is anymore. So maybe you go under on that one. Aaron Jones run for more than 66.5 yards. Been doing well. Sam Darnold, franchise quarterback. Cook up hot takes with your friends. Win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Prize Picks available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LightYears for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LightYears on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, run your game.
I'm going to take it one step farther, guys. Tweet at us your Prize Picks play. We will rate it. We'll let you know how you do.
Breakdown of games based on the Prize Picks. That's pretty good. It's a good segment right there. It's going to break down the whole game like we're football analysts. I like it. All right, what do we got next?
So you mentioned trade rumors.
Oh, I love it.
Per Sam Amick, Jimmy Butler is going to be a free agent next year. Didn't get an extension done. Warriors have interest, probably made a couple calls. But that's not it, Andy. That's not it. Brett Siegel tells us the Warriors are expected to continue their pursuit of high-level talents on the trade block during the season. LeBron, Giannis find themselves at the top of the Warriors wish list. Wow, same. Good job, guys. Good job. And just in case that isn't
mine, by the way, top of my wish list.
Just in case that wasn't enough for you, we also got the Warriors have dreams of acquiring Giannis. Are you just getting tired of I don't even want to talk about the rumors because they're nothing. They're unsubstantiated. Right. It's like, cool. Yep. We want your best player for Moses Moody in a second. Great. How fucking annoying is this?
If you read Brett Siegel's article, I don't know who Brett Siegel is. Seems like a good guy. If you read the article, which is like 3,000 words, incredibly long, go read it, right? If you haven't. But what it amounts to is that, Sam, they're saying that they want Jimmy Butler and Giannis and KD and LeBron. The Warriors want them. Great. The Lakers also want Steph. The same article could be the Lakers also want Steph Curry. Shocker, right? So I'm annoyed because, like you said, it goes back to what we were saying in the last segment is let's focus let's focus on the season, man. I think the Warriors have a good, solid team with some really interesting pieces. Instead of talking about Jimmy Butler, who, by the way, I don't even think is like that great of a fit with this team. I just what are we doing?
You imagine a Jimmy Butler, Kyle Anderson, Draymond combo? Like, I love them all, but like
I can't. I don't actually like Jimmy Butler. So my Jimmy Butler take is I think he's a really good basketball player, but over the last 4 or 5 years, I think the Jimmy Butler PR, whatever he's doing in PR, I think has made him seem like this this Kobe Jordan-ish type of guy, and it's just like he's not that guy, and I feel like we're being sold that he is. It annoys me, Sam. It annoys me.
Unfortunately, I have bought all the PR. God. I spent $1,000 on his big face coffee. That's how bought in I am.
Unbelievable.
I just, I need him here. I'm going to be churning out TikTok videos with dramatic music showing him hit an 8-footer and then grift for free throws. I'm all in on the Jimmy PR train. Sorry.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Warriors have their own Jimmy Butler. All good. All good.
Hey, we got Lowry marking it at home with Looney adding a 3-point shot. We might as well get Jimmy Butler at home with Kuminga, right?
He's just blonde. Easy.
I'm trying to decide how much of this is the media just throwing the Warriors name out there because everyone knows the Warriors want to make a trade versus the Lakers texting everyone at all times because they don't want the fan base being upset. And I can't decide which one it is, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Lakers need to put down the phone and get to work. What's funny is the Warriors, like, through the media, like, increasingly feel like the Lakers, where all they're doing is talking about players they want to acquire. But they also feel like the Celtics because the Lakers don't care if you think they're smart. The Lakers are just like, we're the Lakers. We're going to get them. You can make fun of us all we want. We're just going to win. The Warriors have this incessant need for everyone to think they're the smartest people in the room, like the Boston Celtics. And that's where it's like kind of annoying for me because it's like it's just constant like Laker, like Warriors want Giannis. Warriors want this player. It's like, cool. So do I. Nice. But at the same time, it's like, let's talk about our process. We have the smartest people making decisions. We can't make this trade because our algorithm says we will not win this many games. And that's where I just get so annoyed. It's so succession-y for me. It's so like family business, like wanting to appear like they're in control type of thing. It's just tiresome.
What's interesting with that is they would be Celtics-y if the stuff they did was super creative, right? I think the Celtics have done a really good. Brad Stevens what is he? Is he the best executive? He has to be. They just won a championship. The moves that he made,
it's his league right now.
It really is. And Porzingis didn't even play in the finals, at least not healthy. Like they are the favorite. You got to pick them to win. They're by far the best team in the league. And some of the stuff that they did was super creative, right? Trading for, is it even creative? It's just going for it. It's just trading for guys. You're just picking a lane. We've talked about that a lot. And with the Warriors, it's like,
it's having conviction too. Like they're like Derek, because like, the Warriors would not give up a first-round pick for Derek White because that first-round pick could be anything, and Brad Stevens like, yeah, exactly. Brad Stevens like, Derek White's a fucking difference maker for us. We're gonna develop him. He's gonna be a guy. This is peanuts. I'll make it happen. So,
and he's one of their best. Dude, he's Team USA, right? You can argue how good was he? I thought he was good. I enjoyed watching Derek White. And with these Warriors, it's where was the creativity? Like your point is acting like the Lakers, right? You want Giannis, you want LeBron. I think that's fine, right? That's good, but you're not the Lakers. People don't want to live in the Bay Area like they want to live in LA. This is not Bay Area slant. We're from the Bay, right? Like I love the Bay. I'm not going to move from the Bay, but people want to live in LA, right? Like LA is always going to be LA. They're always going to get LeBron. They're always going to get Anthony Davis. The Warriors are not always going to get that person. The KD stuff was once in a lifetime. Right. But it's more realistic to be the Celtics, right? Because do you think Drew Holiday wanted to live in Boston? Who the hell wants to live in Boston? Like genuinely, like more so than LA, right? So it's instead they go and trade for guys. They're creative and try to get guys. Porzingis, distressed asset. We go get that guy, right? So with the Warriors, it's like, what have they done to go and make those trades? Hey, come on, man.
You're correct. Where it's. You are correct. And for those listening, I just shared an article about SF's doom loop because that's what Andy's saying. But you are correct. It's like ultimately, I think we're aligned at the same place. I'm just tired of this stuff. I'm gonna focus on the team on the court. And if they surprise me, like if we get to the trade deadline and we hear like, there's some real possibility that they might get Jimmy or something, then I'll be the first one to be here talking about it. Right. You know that? But it's like right now, I just like. Cool. And maybe it's just because it's like, dude, I've listened to this for multiple years now. Siakam. Yep. Siakam's for sure going to be a Warrior. They can't pass on Siakam, pass on DeJounte Murray for sure. It's like enough. I've had enough of this clown show.
They are I mean, they are a giancy in that way. It's like we're tired of hearing this stuff. You know, what's always fun about the Niners is that despite the fact that they're falling apart right now, they do always go for it. Like they are pretty creative. Like they'll make a midseason trade. They always
Mhm.
do. They always
They're
get guys.
about
They always sign
they're
guys.
about to make another one, my man.
Yeah, they
They're about
have
to make
to.
another.
Right? They
They're
have
about.
fallen
They need a
apart. They have to
defensive
make a trade.
tackle. Yeah.
Send the first. Can they go get a? I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I know, but they go for stuff, right? And so the Giants, I feel like they kind of do want to go for stuff. They're just not good enough. And the Warriors is like, yeah, they could go for stuff. They just don't. Like they just haven't done it. The creativity part would have been moving back from the Wiseman pick, right? Using those assets, going and trading for someone, right? Or using one of the first round picks, lottery picks, and moving that back and using those picks to trade for someone. All that type of stuff is stuff that the Warriors could do creatively, similar to what you're saying to the Celtics, but they haven't done it. So, but sign and trade is the most creative thing that they've done, as they got Buddy Hield and Cal Anderson in the sign and trade. So,
Yeah.
maybe that's the first step.
Maybe there's step one. Maybe. Anyway,
Cal Anderson.
sure we'll talk about it more and more as the time goes. This is kind of adjacent to the Warriors, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Thursday is the last game, theoretically, ever at the Oakland Coliseum. Obviously, Coliseum complex housed the A's, the Raiders at some times, and obviously and the Warriors at Oracle Arena. I've been kind of thinking about it a lot. I'm going to go to the game Thursday. If you're there, come say what's up. I don't know. Most of my falling in love with sports happened here, going to A's games and Warriors games when they sucked when I was a kid, mostly. And I know the Warriors moved, but it never really bothered me because they stayed in market. Eventually, they were going to get a new, like, if they moved to San Jose, I'd be annoyed because it's a longer drive for me, but ultimately, yeah, they're still the base team. I don't really care, right? They ended up in San Francisco. It is what it is. Who cares? Honestly, it would have been more convenient for me if they stayed in Oakland, but I'm not going to complain about an extra 15-minute commute. And the Raiders left town. They're gone. The A's one's just the saddest for me. It's just, I don't know. Someone posted a comment when I tweeted about it. Michael Chun, he posted a picture of him taking his boys to a Warriors game, walking over the Coliseum overpass. And I just looked at this and it just kind of made me sad. I'm not going to be able to experience that with my own son. You know, he's not quite 3 yet, so I can't take him on Thursday to the game. I don't even know what taking like a 2-year-old to a game would look like. But like I always had in my mind, like when he got older, I'd be able to take him, and I'm not going to be able to do that. And you know, I'll probably end up taking him to a Giants game. I'll definitely take him to a Warriors game. He'll get that experience, but it won't be the experience that I got, which was the first game I went to is my dad took me to an A's game when I was like 8 years old. I have vivid memories of it, like how big it felt, how just wild all that stuff felt. I have memories of going to watch the great timeout Warriors, and they were fucking terrible. But just like, it's not even about them being terrible. It's about like how larger than life this whole thing feels for you as a kid. And I don't know, man, that's like, it's like an entire chapter of my life is officially gone, you know? I'm just imagining talking to like, you know, my son in 10 years about like, oh yeah, we used to go to the Coliseum and he'd walk over this overpass at East Oakland and he's going to look at me like I'm fucking insane. Like, what is this all about, you know? So,
well, I think the worst part of this too is this is not something that, like, you're not going to go and tell your son like, hey, like, it happened because of this, and there's nothing we could have done about it. Like, there's nothing we could have done to fix this. It's actually, this is happening because of the worst possible people that are in charge, or person that's in charge, right? I'm not an A's fan, but I've been to a ton of games at Oracle there, and it's from following the news and what I'm hearing. I'm not as tapped in as you are on this stuff. All this stuff is just bullshit. Like what, you know, right? The reason this has happened is just pure bullshit. There's no other way around it. This is not a, hey, we couldn't fix this. We're so sorry about it. It's like, no, what's the hell, right?
And it's like more important. It's like they were always going to move, but it's like, you know, you run out of stadiums. Like the Giants and the Niners move from Candlestick. You know,
Right.
At some point things get old. But then Oracle Park open. That's great. I was looking forward to the A's moving just to see what a new ballpark would look like. Be cool. If it was in Hayward, I wouldn't really care. Like, it's 15 miles south, right? Like this sort of thing. They're just ditching town, and they are unlike the Raiders, who've kind of been in and out of town, and football is kind of a different animal. Like, they do have 4 championships in Oakland. Like, that's real. They have been here 50 plus years. That's a long time. And what's most annoying, there's a lot of rich people in the Bay Area who would have bought them, including Joe Lacob, you know? So it's like, it didn't have to go down like this.
I was going to ask you, do you think they're going to be back?
I don't like nothing that they've done with relocation indicates that it's going to end positively. Like, sorry, positive, not even the right word, that they're going to achieve their goal. You know, like, they haven't got approval in Vegas yet. They're playing in a minor league facility in Sacramento, which the league hasn't approved. Like, I'm not convinced they're not going to be playing games at Oracle Arena next year. Oracle Park next year. Like, it's all unknown. And I'm not like really focusing on that right now. It's just kind of like losing the memories there, you know, kind of sucks. I don't know. It's crappy. It's weird because, you know, they're leaving, which is more heartbreaking. Because when the Warriors, I went to the last game at Oracle Arena.
Yeah.
The one that Clay tore his ACL, that one. And it was really weird walking out of there. First off, you know, A, we knew Clay was injured, so that sucked. Yeah. B, they just lost a title, which is just kind of a bittersweet feeling. And then see him just walking out and they're like, man, that's the last time I'm ever going to watch a basketball game in that arena. You know, it's kind of a weird feeling. But I always was like, well, I'll be back here next spring for a baseball game. Ironically, I was not because COVID hit, but I can't control that. I don't know. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like it's surreal because we're gonna sound like old men. We're talking about going to, like, whether it was the Dynasty Warriors games at the arena or like for me the Coliseum for A's games. It's just a relic of the past. Other people won't know about it.
I wonder where Joe Lacob would have put the stadium if he was allowed to buy the team.
I have a feeling he would have. Well, I don't know. They would have ended up with probably moving more towards the South Bay. I keep saying Hayward or Fremont, but something like that.
Oakland. And I don't really think you can't put Oakland that. I guess it's not that.
And where do the San Francisco 49ers play?
Yeah, fuck me. I mean, just a miserable play. I mean, actually, I really like the stadium.
The commute's miserable based on where you and I live because it's just a pain to get to.
Yeah,
but
the park itself, I think. But yeah. That sucks.
Anyway,
I mean, it sucks. Baseball's a different. I mean, I know I don't have too many thoughts. Just out. I think the baseball stuff. I think functions a lot off nostalgia more than any other sport. It's a pastime sport, and I've always said baseball's a great time for a date. Basketball and football are not. I don't want to hear you talking during a basketball football game.
Imagine taking a first date to a Niners game.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, like, I'm so drunk anyway, so it's like, what's the point? But baseball, you know, it is truly like you sit there, you enjoy your time there. You know, you're getting good food, right? You're chopping it up. You're actually like, I don't know, that stuff. You're going to 10 of those a game, 15 of those a game a year, right? I mean, I did.
It's really just kind of like it's really just like it's more about community. Like, obviously you want your team to win, but it's just like, this is a fun way to spend an afternoon. One of my close friends is from San Diego, diehard Padres fan. He's obviously having the time of his life right now, given how good they are. He has an older son than me, and he started taking his son, who's like 5'6", to games. I'm just looking at that. I'm like, that's like really what it's all about. Like, being able to actually do that. You know, baseball is unique, and you can probably take them at a younger age because, like, you don't really need to watch. You give them cotton candy, do that sort of thing. And when I see that, it's like, A, I'm happy for him because that looks awesome. And like, B, you know, it'd be amazing if you could see his team win a title and all that sort of thing. But like, C, I keep going back to, like, I'm never going to get that with the A's. Like, I'm just kind of a baseball nomad now, you know?
Yeah.
I'll probably end up going to Giants games because I'm pretty sure my son will just end up liking them because he lives here, but sucks.
You're going to be miserable. That's the miserable.
I'm just gonna be a hater. I'm just gonna be a great hater at all times.
Good time to be a Giants hater. So you'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
To all the A's fans who listen, if you go to the game Thursday, Try to say what's up to me. I'll see you there. Otherwise, obviously thinking about just as much as the rest of you.